I can't say in other years I could say this, but I think this year the PGA is going to be my favorite major because of where it is.
Because of where it is.
Because of
is
where
there ever
it
going to
is.
be a course that's better? You ever
For
going to
me,
find
no.
one? No.
No. And when we go there, which
Ruined.
we'll talk about in the show later, you're going to find out why.
Okay.
You're going to see why. But guys, welcome to Coffee and Golf. It's Friday.
Sorry, I'm doing this. It is Friday.
He's not ignoring us.
I'm
He's
putting the link out so that everyone can join.
So that you guys can join us.
Absolutely.
But guys, this is Coffee and Golf. Each week, the segment where we get to go live and take your comments, get you guys involved in the show. We're drinking coffee, we're talking golf, and what a big week it is to talk about it because, A, we were away last week, so we've got a lot to recap.
We got a ton of recap.
We do. And then on top of that, of course, there's so much to talk about. And how are you guys so far? I know we're only one round in the books, but how are you guys enjoying the PGA at the Ocean Course at Kiawah? Let us know in the comments. Great to see you guys, as always. We're going to talk about it. We're going to dive into the ocean. Dive into the ocean.
You want to
How
dive into
about
the
that?
ocean?
Let's go do the dive into the
Let's
ocean.
go, right?
And we'll be right back, guys.
Guys got Ocean Course on the brain.
Got Ocean
all
Course on the
week.
brain. But how about that place? I mean, I want to hold off because I want to talk about it in a second. But you wanted challenge. They're getting it. And how about this? Longest major in history where they've got this thing played.
78 hundo? 79?
70, I think it's just 78 and change it's playing. And what's so wild about it is that when Pete Dye originally, this is not a course that ever had to be lengthened. When Pete Dye designed this course, he designed it with all that length. We're not talking about a course where they're adding tee boxes and trying to find new places for tee boxes just for the point of having a major. This thing was always that long, and it was actually a brilliant thing by Pete Dye. Not only was he trying to make a hard golf course, as Pete Dye will, but he also put those tee boxes in there so that they can move them around day by day based on the wind. So if you've got a lot of wind at your back, he can push you back and make it just as long. Diabolical is right.
But it shows like we play courses that are 5,900 and have just eaten our entire lunch. So, but this is 30 mile per hour gusts, 8,000 yards.
And that's what I love about it. Golf is such a changing atmosphere of where you play. And a 5,500 yard course can be just as challenging in certain ways with tight little small greens.
Right. That's the protection.
Turtleback green.
Sure.
And then you can have a course like this that tight fairways and exposed to the wind. But and guys, thank you. Seen a lot of feedback on the Pinehurst videos. Glad you guys enjoyed the first episode. We're gonna have new episodes every Thursday. And here's a question, Mike. The Pinehurst trip, was it the best golf trip you guys have ever been on?
It's so hard to stack. I mean, the Scotland trip was incredible.
Incredible.
To play and film 10 rounds over 6 days and see a country we've never been to, and then go to Pinehurst. I've never even been to North Carolina in my life, and go to a golf mecca like that, and just to be like ensconced in all of that golf history. I can't pick between the two.
Yeah.
It's hard, right?
It's just, they're just two different animals.
Exactly.
And that's what I love about it. Again, like I said before, golf can be so varied. And Pete asks, why is the ocean my favorite? And you're right. I mentioned on Instagram, you know what? The only way I can explain it is it's a vibe when you're there. I love the beach. I love going to the beach. It's just when you're there, you feel like you literally are because you are on the beach. But it's for such a prestigious club. It's such a relaxed vibe. I've never had a situation where I've had better interactions with the staff from the starters, the caddies, everybody like that. It's just a very laid back. Everyone's just happy to be there. And it's this such a interesting dichotomy between playing someplace that will literally beat you up. It will take your lunch, but you'll somehow do it with a smile on your face.
Yeah.
And that's something you don't find other places. There's some places like I've played Bethpage Black. You respect it. It's difficult, but you just feel like you're getting beat up. And you feel like you're just trying to fight back and scrap together the score you can. This one, like, it lulls you into this sense of like security and you're just happy and whatever, but you're just like, at the same time, you're just like, don't look at the scorecard.
How many balls did you lose?
I actually surprisingly didn't lose as many as I thought. I think I lost 2 or 3 while I was there. But you know what? A big part of that was attributed to the caddy really helping me around the course and really giving me spots to hit it. If I tried to do that without a caddy, I'd be in trouble every time. Those fairways are so tight. You really need someone who can give you those lines that are going to keep you the safest when you're out there. But it's it's something. But let's quickly recap, guys, because I want to talk about, first of all, we weren't here last week, and again, we're going to try to make this as many Fridays as we can. This is our busy season. This is when we're out on the course, we're filming. We've got a huge bank of videos that we're working on editing to get out to you guys, because we had been dying to do it, just between COVID and what do you call it, and the winter and stuff like that. So we're back out there, but when we're in studio, we're going to be here. So first, the last thing we spoke about was the Wells Fargo. And what did you think about seeing Rory getting the win?
That's, that was my pick.
There was
Remember,
your pick,
we're going back to making cuts, making bucks segment. I went Rory. I said, this is the season of Rory. I said, watch out. This is a course that he was, awesome on. He's won on. He's finished top 10 a gazillion times on. And sure enough, he came up there and he won 19th PGA Tour win.
Yeah.
But the key was it was his first win in 18 months.
18 months.
Great
monkey
monkey
off
off his back.
First 18-month stretch. Do you know that? He's gone an 18-month dry spell before.
Yeah. Because it's not that long. I mean, a year and a half for some of these guys.
It's not.
It's not too bad. I mean, we saw Spieth go through it. A lot of these guys go through it. Ricky. So, it's nothing out of the norm. Rory did have a little scare, though.
He did. And by the way, I'm seeing here a lot of you guys, Rory clearly like a fan favorite too. A lot of people were really happy to see him win. But he did have a scare. In fact, he didn't mention it until after the tournament, but he said he had pulled his neck during a practice session. And man, I know exactly what that feels like when you just wrench something and you get that muscle spasm, and it's the worst. And he actually said if he didn't have the late tee time on Thursday, if he had a morning tee time, he was not prepared to play. He would have had to withdraw, and then obviously wouldn't have picked up the win.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I
agree. It's kind of funny that we set this new standard that it's like slow for them to win only every 18
right.
months.
It's
it's wild. You know what I mean? Like it just shows you. It just shows you that. You get a guy like Rory, what we really expect of him.
Yeah.
We expect a lot of him, and that's a lot of pressure to live up to.
Yeah, 100%.
But
100%.
it was good to see him playing well.
Yep.
Yesterday, struggling a bit. I think a lot of people want to see this is a place that he won before at the Ocean Course, and I think a lot of people came into it with really high hopes. We'll get into our picks later in the live show, and you guys of course can let us know your picks in the comments.
Yeah, be sure to stick around for our picks because something different happened this time around.
Yeah, we got something a little bit different for you. But again, as we're working our way towards this week, we got to continue to recap. The second thing, the AT&T Byron Nelson. It's a tournament I usually like. Honestly, I didn't get to watch a whole lot of it. Between the weather delays and between us running around that weekend, I didn't get to see too much. But talk about having a little bit of ice in your veins. Like, see, I got that little picture from Instagram here of what it looked like. So you've got KH Lee. He goes in on Sunday. He's got 2 holes to play. He's got a 2-shot lead, and he has to ride out a 2-hour rain delay. I mean, talk about icing the kicker, Mike.
Seriously, man.
Can you imagine sitting there in that clubhouse?
I don't know what I would do during that time. Because, someone said it recently. I think it was Danny Berger saying, when you have a lead in a golf tournament on Sunday, it feels like you're having a heart attack on every hole. Think about that. Like your heart rate's elevated. You're nervous. You're trying to hold on to a win. Now you got to sit and wait 2 hours during a rain delay,
right? And
re-warm up.
I think that's one of the wildest parts. Is it's not like when you have a guy who's in the clubhouse with the lead and he's waiting for a playoff and he's out there on the range staying warm. I mean, what's the most you can do? Putt into a coffee mug in the locker room.
Exactly.
So that's a tough thing, but here he comes out, right? I mean, this is, like I said, definition of ice in your veins. He comes out after that 2-hour delay and birdies 17 and 18, right? And then he wins by 3 strokes. So he was his first win, but I tell you what, and we're going to talk a little bit more later in the show about grit, but when I see grit like that, I think that's when I say we've got a guy who can rack up a couple of wins.
Yeah, I think so.
Because we've no doubt we've all seen the guys who are super, super talented, but there's just something about when it comes to having to perform at certain times, it just doesn't happen.
And KH Lee proved it that Sunday.
Yes,
100%.
He proved that you can do it. So I think I again a couple of good lead ups there between the Wells Fargo and the AT&T Byron Nelson leading up to this week. We've got our second major of the season, and let's talk about it again here. The setup. First of all, look at this great picture. If you guys aren't following Links Gems on Instagram, don't stop what you're doing. I don't want you to stop.
Don't stop
what
you're doing.
As soon as the show ends, hop over to Instagram and follow because the photos he takes, I mean, it's just
Look at that.
I love
Frank.
it. I mean, every once in a while, it just gives you that just something
Look at
to
that.
look at. But so the ocean course, what's so wild about it is the way that it plays out and then back in, where you can have a situation where you're having 8 straight holes that you're playing into the wind. You know, when we were in Scotland and we were playing a lot of links courses, we would have that kind of yo-yo effect sometimes with the back and forth.
Yes.
Where we're play a hole into the wind, a hole with the wind, a hole into the wind, a hole with the wind,
Right.
right? Or maybe you get a 2 or 3 hole stretch into the wind. But here, that relentless 8 holes into the wind, that's tough. And it's even harder too to make that when you have wind of this significant. We're talking about up to 25 mile an hour and stuff like that. Turning around, sure, everyone loves to blast that driver with the wind at your back.
Of course.
But it's still hard to calculate those yardages. Now, you may have been a 2-club win this way. Now you're going to 2-club win the other way. You know, I don't I don't envy the caddies this week.
Right, I definitely don't. And you know, it's funny because when I played Bayonne, which is a true links course on the water, the wind was almost following us, and we were hitting into it every single hole. It was so annoying.
Yeah.
You know, and I could see these guys must be going through this something similar, but even harder playing back at 1700. So
it's wild.
What else about this course?
Hey, but watch. Wait, look at this. This is awesome. Pete McCann. Hey, Zach, you got a shout out. He said, speaking of great photos, shout out to Zach Godwin. There you go. Zach has been doing an incredible
Let's bring him
job.
here.
There he is.
Come back here. And
we've got him sitting over there just editing photos right now. Here's Zach. Zach is the man. He started off interning with us, and then we're like, can you learn photography?
Yeah. Can you figure that out?
Yeah, because that's an easy craft, right?
Right.
Yeah, not at all. It's like trying to tell someone to learn to climb Mount Everest, but he's done an awesome job.
Dude had 50 pounds on his back throughout Pinehurst with like 4 different cameras.
Yes. But Zach, thank you for the because it's great to see the recognition because he's really been doing a great job in it, and it really helps us because we get to share some of the photos. We're so busy doing the video, we don't get a chance to take pictures while we're out there.
Right, exactly.
But stay tuned for more and follow him on Instagram because he's going to be doing a lot more with just like what what we saw with hopefully one day like Links Gems. I know he's working his way up.
He is working his way,
but he does some great work. But again, 30 mile an hour winds. Again, 7-8 holes straight. It's just wild. But it's Kiawah, man. I mean, they go there knowing that that's going to be the challenge. And the greens, you saw the greens. They're tough. They're tough. I saw plenty of guys who are going up and over some of those humpback, turtleback greens. And as you saw too, there's those fairways. Look at them again from the air here. Those fairways are about as tight as you can imagine, and you've got always water on one side, marsh on the other side, and look at even some of the greens that butt right up against the water. I mean, there's a possibility of chipping it off and into the water. I'm
scared to death. I'm scared to death. I mean, so speaking of that, can we tell them what we did?
Oh, yes. So, speaking of which,
right. So no one knows about this yet.
Nobody knows about this yet, and we're still in the works.
Our wives know at least.
They know. They know. We're still in the works with this. But as you guys hear me talk your ear off about, I played the ocean course a couple of years ago, and since then I have not let Mike breathe without me telling him he's got to play it. He's got to play it. It's going to be a Long story short, one thing I wanted to do was go back to the ocean course and play it for my 40th birthday, which was last year. And all my 40th stuff got canceled due to COVID. Now, Mike turns 40 next year.
I'm way younger.
He's way younger, right? He's got the advantage of youth on me. So what we're going to do is this November, both of our birthdays in November, we're going to go to Kiawah. We're going to play the ocean course to celebrate my 40th 1 year late and your 40th
1 year early. You add them together, divided by 2, you get 40.
There you go.
It's perfect.
Which, by the way, I didn't even know this. I was filming my father in the other day on it. He goes, I went to Kiawah for my 40th birthday.
Really?
Didn't even know that. Now it's a family tradition.
It's a family tradition.
Now it's got to happen.
And tell them how much it costs us to book the tee time.
Here's the thing, guys. I know you guys may think we get to play all the courses for free. And, we're very fortunate that sometimes we don't have to pay for our round. But you know what? We're just like you guys. When we want to get out there, we'll save up. Do that bucket list.
Spend, yeah.
So I'm like, I text Mike from the couch the other night, and I'm like, Mike, listen, because I've been watching it, and I know Kiawah, you got to book it way out. There's one tee time left on your birthday, Mike, because we want to go play on his birthday. I go, there's one tee time left. He's like, grab it. Just grab it, and we'll figure it out. Then I showed him the bill. You guys ready to see this? There you go. Yeah, that's right. 2 guys, $926.
Plus, how much for caddies?
Plus
$100 a bag?
$100 a bag in caddies.
So we're at 1,100 and range balls included.
But yes, the good news is range balls are included, guys. That's all. You just drop a good, whatever it is, $1,200 on a round, and you get range balls.
Yeah, I mean, do you know what? We're living life, guys. I mean, bucket list stuff. Go do it when you can. I mean, we've all been locked down for a year and a half. This excites me that we're going down there. But, great idea.
Yeah, and you know what? Look, at the end of the day, too, is this is not a place that we can afford to play on a regular basis by any means.
Yeah.
The reality is there are certain things like this, like for a birthday, for a big event, save up, and we just make it happen.
It's a cool idea.
It really is. Emilio says worth it, once in a lifetime experience. This is one of those ones that I will say 100% it is. As you see, I played it 2 years ago. I'm still talking about it to this day. And yes, Gary, I can confirm, because I've been there, the range balls are Pro V1s.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for that, you are getting that. But anyway, like I said, so far, just been really excited with what I saw. I think that leaderboard is going to jump all around. Corey Connors, amazing, first round. But you're going to see so much variability. You're going to see so much variability in this because of the round-to-round, win changes.
Definitely.
It's
going to change a lot.
Another guy who's a friend of the show and we've had on the podcast many times is Eric Anders Lang. He did an absolutely terrific series around the Ocean Course.
Breaking 90 from the tips.
He did a breaking 90. And I was watching that the other day. And in fact, one thing that I found so interesting, and he said it, was the day-to-day variability. They said they went the day before and they shot all the drone footage. Then they came back the next day to play, and he said the difference in wind gust and direction from one day to the next, whereas everything else looked the same, sunshine, whatever, was tremendous. I mean, we're talking about a 20-mile-an-hour difference. Jeff asked where you can find the sticker on the back of the computer there. Actually, those stickers are part of our hat drop now, aren't they?
No, I think he's asking about the Frank one.
This one? Oh, the older one. Yes.
The Frank Tigers. The Frank.
Not
this guy.
Frank. Gotcha.
Tigers Frank.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forget where I got that. I think that came with like a tiger pouch or something. But these stickers, we're actually doing the Golficity stickers much smaller. You can buy a sticker sheet where we're selling the hats.
Yeah.
And we're even doing the cross tee stickers too, which are pretty cool.
Yeah.
Ryan, Pete, thanks for the tip, by the way, buddy. That'll go a long way in Kiawah.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Ryan asked when we're going to be announcing the home simulator giveaway.
That ended yesterday, right?
That ended at midnight, so we're going to be working today on identifying and contacting our winner, and then once we do, we will obviously
over 20,000 entries
publicly. Can you believe that? 20,000 total entries. I think there was over 5,000 individual people who entered, so I think a lot of people want a simulator.
Jeez, yeah. Wait, before we go on, Nick was asking a question. I had to just respond. He asked it a couple times, talking about Rockland Lake. He says, a practice round at Rockland Lake par 3 course with my school today. Give me any advice. My advice would be, dude, number 2, the second hole, one of my favorite holes, is that cliff down. Just make sure you pick the right club. All right? Good luck.
It's at least one less club depending on the wind. At least, if not 2 less clubs.
But hey,
I think you play off mats there, right?
Yeah, you play off mats.
You play off the mats. There are different ranges of par 3s as far as length goes, but I would say one thing you can do, those greens are not terrible to putt on.
They're not.
So I would just say focus on your green and regulation. Just get on those greens because there is bunkering and stuff that could get you in trouble. If you don't feel like you're dialed that day, go for the center of the green and try to get out of there 2-putt pars. You'll have a great day. That's for sure.
Absolutely. So good luck, man. Enjoy that. Emilio asked, might have missed it, but are the hats for sale? Yeah, the hats are for sale. I just dropped the link in the chat, golficity.com/hat drop. Gary, you're right. The blue, which you see here, Frank, if you can go on me, get nice and close.
Yeah, let's see here.
The blue are sold out, but the black are awesome, brand new, compliment right here. You can see on me with the tags on them. We also have the Golficity ones, which are still there.
And there's a spot in there you can put your email to be notified when the blue's back in stock.
Yeah, those are coming back soon.
Yeah. Hey, we were just talking about you, Craig. Craig jumped in. He goes, morning, afternoon, evening. Never know what time it is over there. We talk about photos, too. We talk about this all the time. Our standard which we talk about Zach. We show people like, can you take pictures like this? Like our new standard is what Craig did.
Yeah.
So we're like, here's our favorite photos of all time, and then we just try to find anybody who can do that.
Right.
So Craig, good morning.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, one thing I want to talk about real quick about Kiawah before we talk about some of the stuff that's in the news.
Yes.
What are you thinking about Spieth, who literally had an X on his back the first day? You know, in the practice round. But what do you think? I mean, Spieth is the one who's, he's going for his Grand Slam here. There's still a lot that can happen, obviously.
Where is he on the leaderboard? I got to pull him up here.
Yeah, pull him up, see where he's at. I don't know if he even went off this morning yet or not.
Spieth is here. He is even par, and he's off. He's through 5.
He's through. Okay.
I mean, it's still like we said, it's anyone's ball game with, Brandon Grace is now in the lead -4. Anything can happen. 4 strokes is nothing on a course like this.
It's not. Yeah, it can change.
And he still has
quickly.
that drive for the Grand Slam. So,
and as we've been talking about here each week, he's been playing better. He's been trending in the right direction. Another guy who's been trending in the right direction. I think I've said this every week now is Keegan Bradley.
Yep.
He had a good first day.
We're seeing his name on leaderboards.
We are. But I mean, I want to talk about Brooks too later on because it's still funny. You see how he still can't bend that knee.
Yep.
But that guy, he just keeps showing up.
He does.
But even whether he would have been in contention or not, there's one thing that's just continues to be missing is Tiger.
Yeah.
On these majors, and it's just like, would love to see Tiger. How many chills would you get just seeing Tiger stinger all around Kiawah, keeping it under the wind, just Tiger stinging it. Forget about it.
I know.
It's just
we'll see Tiger again, but not a Kiawah, I don't think.
Exactly. All right, so some of the stuff in the news this week. First of all, we got to talk about Rory ribbing JT. Did you guys see this? So he's given this press conference before we went out there, and you can see in the press conference, you can see in the video the moment that JT catches his eye because he walks in and he smiles at him. He says, a lot of guys have won one major, but it's hurdle getting that second. And again, I mean, if you guys saw our video from Suburban, right, where we were talking and getting some of that inside the rope information, right? Remember he was mentioning how much you guys don't hear the kind of the chatter out there,
right? How
these guys really kind of dig at each other, but in a friendly way. We're not talking about in a way that's just like, whatever,
right.
But just like they're such good friends out there and they just dig. And if you ever get the opportunity, especially in like a practice round or a pro-am round where they're a little bit looser and you get into one of these events and just get close around the tee boxes and just pay attention to the guys because they do it kind of quietly, but they get after each other.
They definitely
those two are good friends. Remember the Dominoes conversation?
The Dominoes, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. It's always great hearing those guys. I always think about the time we talk about it a lot at Plainfield when Justin Thomas put Ricky Fowler's clubs upside down. He told us, he's like, don't say anything.
Yes.
We were like, who is this guy?
We had no idea who he was back then.
Because he didn't win yet on tour.
Yeah, he was brand new on tour. But yeah, so that was kind of funny seeing him rib him a little bit. And then this other story. I mean, at this point, you just wonder how much, Bryson is just, out there and just trying to like get in the. I don't know, but did you hear this story about Bryson saying that he not only he believes UFOs, he's had encounters with them in his backyard.
Yeah.
I mean, what's this story?
I mean, apparently, he saw these 3 little silver metal discs in the sky, and while he was out in his garden, like it formed a triangle shape. I don't know. I mean, a lot of the times with the stuff he says when he talks about science with golf, we kind of just goes right through him, and I'm like, I don't believe in that, so I'm not. And then when you hear things like this, hey, maybe he did. This is a guy who also flew home when he made the cut and then had to fly back the next day. So
yeah, this Bryson. I mean, he is something else. I mean. Listen, to some extent, I like the quirkiness.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of personality.
Yep.
It's anything but boring. But
right.
I thought this one was funny. Yeah, you can go to golficity.com, read the article. You can see the whole quote. Whose article was that, by the way?
That was, I believe that was Connor. Connor wrote that one.
Connor. So Connor did a great job on that one, kind of recapping it. And
I want to pull a quote from it.
Bryson doesn't hold anything back. He's not thinking like, how is this going to be perceived if I tell people I have UFOs in my backyard? He's just telling you.
Right. But you know what? With this whole popularity contest for this bonus, I mean, at this point, I'll start telling people I saw UFOs if I'm on the PGA Tour.
Yeah.
Because it gets articles created like this about you. Let's check out these
comments.
comments.
Too funny. Guess I know what he's got in his garden now. Yeah. Well, we didn't say what he was gardening back there.
Right, right.
Look at this. We're going to have Pete just start writing the show for us because he's talking about the Ricky MJ story, which is brilliant. We didn't get a chance to mention that, and that's something that was on Golficity as well.
Right.
I think that this is really kind of a cool idea. So you have what Pete's referring to is that obviously we saw Ricky playing a little bit better this week, actually yesterday.
He got the exemption to get there.
He got the exemption. We saw him playing a little bit better, and in a recent interview, he said that how he's been playing a lot of rounds with Michael Jordan to kind of tune himself up and stuff like that. And man, I don't think there could be a better combo. First of all, this has been going on for a while. Ricky does a lot of his practice rounds at Jordan's.
Jordan, the Grove.
Yes, exactly. Because it's so close to his home and things like that. But, I mean, if you ever wanted somebody with a competitive edge to have rub off on you a little bit, it's got to be, Michael Jordan.
100%.
I think that's the thing we kind of lament about Ricky. We all love him. We all want to see him play really well. He's incredibly talented, but he just seems to struggle with getting over the line in those competitive situations on Sundays. So maybe something that Jordan is telling him is whatever, or maybe it's just that competitive aspect, because I've heard that Jordan doesn't play golf with anybody unless he's playing for big money.
Yeah, I'm sure they were playing for some decent money. I see here that, what do you give him? He gives Jordan 10 strokes, Ricky?
He said he gives him 10 strokes, and he's a good golfer. Jordan's a guy who can shoot 77 on any given day. So,
right.
You mean, Ricky's got to go out there and fire 67 to tie him, with 10 strokes. But yeah, I can only imagine the money they're probably playing for.
I could, I mean, 1,000 a hole.
It's got
something like that, just like pocket change type stuff for those guys. For them, yeah. And I think like Ricky Hayes -1, he's T14. I mean, when you're in a cart with 4 or 5 hours with one of the greatest, winners of sports history, and one of the biggest names of sports history, an icon, just the stuff that's going to rub off and what he's talking to you, MJ talking to you, I mean, it's going to fire you up.
Yeah,
like
Pete
anything.
Sums it up. He goes, I need to brush up. Maybe I should play with the most competitive person in history. Yeah, exactly. That'll do it for you.
Right.
So that was a big thing. And then, like I said, so we talked about Bryson. Another thing, too, one thing that I think has been the silver lining, we've mentioned this before, of the whole COVID situation is that being that golf remained one of the things that was open, it brought a lot of people into the game. Now, that being said, I understand the lament, especially coming from our neighbors up north with Canada really struggling to get those courses back open, and I understand all that. But a lot of people, and we've done some different things with different coaches, which we filmed a lot of stuff. You're going to see that really soon. But every kind of coach and facility, we were out at Connecticut at the Golf Performance Center. Every feedback we're getting is that they're seeing more and more people coming through the doors, of especially younger kids coming to play the game of golf, because of the fact that they caught interest in it when it was the only sport that could be played. Now we're starting to see the hard evidence of that. So ShotScope, it's a company that we work very closely with. We wear the watches when we're out there. We talk about it on the podcast, the stat tracking. They reached a major milestone, 100 million shots tracked, which, yeah, 100 million. Yeah, but
that's incredible.
While that's incredible in and of itself, what I find is more incredible is the acceleration. They had said, I believe it was David, who's the CEO there, had said 50 million of those shots just came in the last, I think it was like 12 to 18 months. So we're starting to see it. We've had some reports on Golficity talking about other areas that measure the industry, retail sales, whatever it may be. Here's a hard measurement of showing how much golf is being played. We've talked to many golf courses. Which was the golf course the other day you said that they blew their record out of the water with most rounds played?
Oh, Rotella?
Yeah, Rotella, which is another local course to us. But it's just amazing that we're starting to see it. We're starting to see, like I said, the hard evidence that this game, which we've all wished for, is truly growing. We say about the game was shrinking and grow the game. You can see that it's growing. Let's see here. Just looking through some of your comments. Jeff is saying that he's in Quebec City. He said that everything is open here. That's awesome. But in Ontario, a few hours away, is a different game. Everything's closed. Yeah, I mean, we feel for you guys. I can definitely say that. And I can see how it can be lead to a lot of frustration, especially when we're seeing other outdoor events open in Canada, but yet some of these local rulings of keeping those courses closed. And I know you guys have a short season, so all I could say is we're thinking of you guys, and we really hope that you're able to get back out there and start playing again soon.
Absolutely.
But even with, like I said, with the closures, the numbers that we're giving you, the 100 million, ShotScope is in every golfing country in the world. It's good to see across the board. As golfers, we all cheer it on the sport to grow, and we're starting to see that growth a little bit more.
Definitely. And look at this. Gary and Emilio, look, they're going to set up a tee time and play together. We got partnerships forming right here.
This is what it's all about.
That's what it's all about.
That's what
Look
it's
at
all
Jason.
about.
Rotella's a nice course. Rotella, let's go play Rotella. You guys are all local. This is great.
And speaking of which, that's another reason why we do our virtual open every year. So we're going to be working on getting that done towards the end of the summer, and that's an opportunity to play together both physically. A lot of people pair up and go out and play, but also virtually, and we'll have our virtual leaderboard. Stay tuned for that. I know it's a favorite of everybody's out there, so we'll keep that coming.
And we got to do another meetup this year.
We definitely do. We had so many meetups planned before COVID.
Yep.
We're gonna make those happen again. Even if we have to do an outdoor or whatever we got to do, we'll make something happen.
With a lot of the COVID restrictions kind of easing, I think we're getting there.
We're getting close.
We're getting close, guys.
So another funny story is what are the chances that we get not one but two professional golfers forgetting what clubs they play? So look at this graphic. John Rahm, big fan of my Callaway golf clubs. I thought that was too funny. So first of all, he's talking about his TaylorMade clubs, thanking TaylorMade. He had made the switch to Callaway. In his defense, not too long ago, but boy, you get paid that much money to play golf clubs. I'm hoping you remember what clubs. I feel like he or his agent got a phone call right after that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm guilty of saying, my title is TS a lot. Current, because it's a TSI, and we switched out of the TS. But this is a completely different company.
Right, right. And I understand, these guys get in a rhythm where they're every interview saying the same thing for years, and then it just, I think part of it goes on automatic, but still. But I think that's okay. This next one, you can't let it slide. You can't let it slide. But if it's going to be anybody who's going to say this, it's got to be DJ, right? Yeah. So he goes... The reporter asked him what putter he's using this week. He says a TaylorMade. They said, I understand that. Which one? He said, I honestly don't know the name.
Classic DJ.
Classic.
He's like, honestly, I don't know the name.
I don't know the name. Right.
It's TaylorMade.
Right. That cracked me up. But especially when you think these guys, how much money they get paid to play these
It's
clubs.
incredible.
It's just wild. But yeah, so a lot of big stories, of course, from the news this week. Really, it's anytime you have a major week, you're going to have big stuff, and I can't wait to get to watch a little bit more of the Ocean course. One thing that I'm not particularly happy with has been the coverage. I don't have ESPN Plus.
No.
And missing out on some of those early rounds was a little bit annoying, having to wait till 1 o'clock to tune in.
Do you have regular ESPN?
I do.
Do you have the Ocho?
I don't know why.
Sorry. No, but...
Is it on the Ocho and I don't know about it?
It could be. But
TJ is my spirit animal. That's great. I love that.
No, ESPN Plus, that's like a bonus thing. I think you said this the other day, that every major needs to have, the Masters app. Every major should have every app, every shot.
I agree.
Yeah.
Sal just offered me his sign-in. Thank you, Sal. But yeah, no, I said this the other day. We were all chatting on Slack, the whole Golficity team, and I was like, guys, I don't understand this. It's 4 majors. Every major should have its own app, and it should have shot-by-shot coverage of every person.
Yeah.
I understand that's a big undertaking, but they do it for the Masters, and I'll tell you what, they'll make their money back.
Yep.
They'll make their money back. These are the 4 events that everybody watches, even people who are on the fringe
gazillion
of golf
downloads
watch it
instantly.
Right. Just get it together.
How many of us download the Masters app, right away for the Masters? Right. Everybody,
Just let us watch it. I don't know.
Thankfully, the dodgeball references are now coming. Thank you. You could dodge a wrench.
You could dodge a ball. Yeah. So I don't know. That's just my take. Is I get a little bit of frustrated when you have a situation where it's very limited who can watch it. I mean, there's probably limited how many people has ESPN, let alone have ESPN Plus, and I just feel like it's yet another. Or even if there was just one network that we could that had them all, and we could just pay the $7.99 a month for that one, but I got to get this network.
But you know what bothers me the most? It's like trying to find the major on TV.
Yeah.
Where do you go? You're flipping through the channels. Is it on ESPN? Is it on TBS? Is it on... But then, you know,
it's 2021. Get an app.
Get an
and
app.
I should be able to select my players I want to watch and watch everything.
Just call the app All the Majors.
All the majors.
One app.
Right.
All the majors. Can we just
Done.
do that?
One app, all the majors. Oh, that's too funny.
Maybe throw the Players. Oh, the Players has a pretty good app itself. I think the Players has their own app, right?
Does the players?
No, it has that thing where like you could follow every player. Remember, every single player. They were like cameras.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, and it also depends on if it's a PGA Tour event or who runs the event or whatever it may be. But
Lloyd says PGA Live Network is the biggest ripoff ever.
yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I enjoy it because I get access to those Thursday, Friday morning rounds right on my computer. If you're a diehard, I think it might be worth it there.
That's so funny. Everyone's saying that your one app is a bold strategy, Cotton. Oh, that's funny.
One app, blow it out with
one
ads.
App. Hey, are we asking too much? I don't know. Maybe we are. All right. Time to go into our heartbreak of the week. And this one, too. I mean, what do we want to label this? Like dudes being dudes? I mean, I'm calling it
I think this is
the
just
kill
dudes.
shot.
Yeah, dudes being
the
dudes.
kill shots. Did you guys see this one?
This is not a real golf ball, by the way.
It's
it
not.
Can't be.
If you listen, I don't have the sound here, but if you turn on the sound, it's a plastic golf ball. It's still
It's a bullseye. It's a bullseye.
It's still a shot.
He went driver off the grass here.
How many beers are involved in this? In the making of this video?
A lot. Nice smooth swing though.
Yeah, nice
with the club twirl.
Right.
He did club twirl.
Little like low kind of buttery draw there. I got it like that. But how does something like this start? It's just like, hey Mike, I've got an idea.
Yep.
Go stand over
there.
Go
stand over there.
Cover your face and anything else important.
Don't cover the windows behind you.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna take a smack at this, right at you.
The club twirl is everything.
The club twirl is.
It's great.
Yeah, there you go.
Because he hit his spot. It was a perfect shot.
He did hit his spot. I gotta say that one more time. The kill shot, the club twirl. Let's see the club twirl at the end. Oh my God. Here we go. Oh, that thing was cooking. Plastic ball or not, that thing was cooking. But
someone lost a bet.
Someone lost. That's what you see when someone loses their fantasy league. Like that's the thing that you've got to do.
Yeah, I see
or whatever.
That. Mm-hmm.
But don't try that at home. Hey, I'll tell you why not to try that at home. Because last time we did our heartbreak of the week, what happened? The club had snapped off.
Oh, and it went
across
someone's
the street
car.
And broke the car window.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine if that driver had snapped off.
Ooh.
Then bad day.
Yeah, that's a bad day.
That barbecue was ending quickly with a trip to the hospital.
I really think that your getting attacked by fire ants should be a heartbreak of the week.
Wait, Jake says it perfectly. He said the handle explains it. Beers on the turn.
Yeah, there you go.
All the evidence is there in front of us. This requires no detective work whatsoever.
Nope.
But the fire ants, yeah.
That's a heartbreak. That was a heartbreak of your month.
Yeah. So let me try to think which episode is it. It's going to be
Pinehurst
episode
number 2, episode 3.
Episode 3 of the Pinehurst series was where Frank gets, that should be the title of the episode. Frank gets attacked by fire ants. We're now 4 weeks out and they're still there.
They're still there, man.
They're still there. Those things are nasty.
Episode 2 shows you them as it happens fresh, but then in episode 3, but then in Pinehurst number 8, which is episode number 4, you'll see the next day aftermath.
Yes.
And they're all bright red.
And that's what everyone says is that it's like 24 hours later that you get that.
Fire ants are just an excuse for Frank to flex. That's why all week he's just been doing this.
Yes. Yeah. That's too funny. Frank just flex. But anyway, so yeah, stay tuned. You're going to see a whole lot more of that. And of course, like I said, the series premiere is live. The hat drop is live, as Mike mentioned earlier. But the blue is already sold out, but I know I'm happy to be able to say it here because I know so many weeks on Coffee and Golf, you guys have been asking when's the hats coming. But yeah.
Yeah, and SO, Frank and Mike would love to have you guys come play at the course I work at in Massachusetts. We love and appreciate all the invites. So do us a favor. Bombard our guy Thomas. Go Thomas at Golficity. Send him your info. Email him, like your name and your course and your address and a way to get in touch with you. And he'll pop it all and he'll log it all. And, we travel all over these states locally. Yeah. So if we're going to do a Massachusetts swing or something, we'll give you a ring. We'll set it up.
Fire Ant Frankie.
Love it. Fire
yeah, because we've said before, two big things we want to cover more of is Connecticut golf, Massachusetts golf. Both are so close.
And PA golf we might be doing too.
Yeah, and we just haven't got a chance to play enough of it.
Brandon, by the way, any more fittings coming up or lessons videos? Definitely my favorite ones. Yes. So we did 2 videos with gears. We're going to be doing some stuff with Golf Tech. We're actually doing a playing lesson. We did a playing lesson with Tom Reynolds at Ledbetter. That's coming up in a couple weeks. Mm-hmm. We're doing a playing lesson with Kevin Sprecher at Sleepy Hollow next Tuesday. Yeah. A playing lesson with Ryan Hager at Plainfield the following Tuesday. A lot of playing lessons, guys.
A lot of playing lessons. So especially that one with Tom Reynolds. If you guys want to see me like dump one tragically into a bunker, and then he shows me the right way to hit the shot.
Yep.
It's
a brilliant little tip he gives you too. You guys
so
will learn
many tips. And actually, the tip that we're using so much since that was his 3-piece read.
Mm-hmm.
We're actually going to do a whole podcast on it. So, yeah, we totally understand the value of those instructional videos. So we've lined up a ton of them this summer. You got a lot more coming.
And Brandon, y'all need South Jersey golf. Well, we are putting the finishing touches on a Jersey Shore Tour travel series where we highlight like 5 or 6 of the best courses in South Jersey. Mm-hmm. We're comboing that with like a family vacation, our wives or kids. But we're going to be playing 1 round of golf every morning in partnership, hopefully with somebody, and to make it a really fun series. And the courses we've got lined up, I think right now we're thinking like Seaview, Twisted Dune, Ballamore, Scotland Run, Atlantic City Country Club. So all the ones you guys, I even saw some rambled off were in some of these in the chat.
Yeah.
So we're looking forward to that.
And Pablo asked about some unboxing challenges. Yes, more of both are going to be coming. We know you guys love some of like the best ball, worst ball challenges. We'll be working those in. We're also going to be working with a lot of our partners to do more giveaways and unboxing. We've got some fun stuff we're going to be doing with FootJoy coming up. So we do hear you guys, and we're going to work on it. Brant, thanks for joining the show today. Always, like I said, we enjoy every Friday where we get to interact with all you guys. All right, we've got a lot more to do today. We got to record some podcasts, but before we let you go, of course, we got to do our Making Cuts, Making Bucks segment. It's a major. It's a big one. Guys, in the comments, start dropping your picks.
Something unique happened this week, everyone.
We're going to tell you our picks, and we'll tell you why it's unique in a second. Who do you want to go first here? We go the usual order or mix it up?
Let's shake it.
Let's shake it up.
Go ahead.
All right, I'll go first. And my pick this week is going to be Koepka, and I'm going to tell you why. This guy has grit. If there's anybody out there who proves over and over that they got grit, I mean, from the way he approaches the golf course, the way he bounces back, he did not start well. Remember that shot out of the bunker that hit the lip and came right back down? But he finds a way to crawl back. In his interviews, you hear him talking about, yeah, I'm injured, but it's a major. I'm going to rise to the occasion. Here's a guy who can't even bend all the way down to read his putts, but yet half the round he was putting lights out.
Yeah.
You can't, like I said, you can't value enough that grit. There are guys out there who have the talent to win, but they don't have the grit. He's got both of them. It's a major. He's got the length that he needs to win here, and I like the way he controlled the ball around that course, mentally strong and able to do it. I can't go against Koepka. I know he's right in the mix. He's not at the top of the leaderboard. There were some guys who had better rounds than him, but I think if you're looking for a guy who's going to have a consistent 4 good rounds and be right in that mix on Sunday, there's your guy.
Yeah, I love it, man. And Pete called him, is he the GOAT T?
I think his literally his only questionable decision this week is that goatee.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
A lot of people saying Morikawa here, Kiawah. I love that. Kiawah.
Yeah. Hey, it's still a major. There's a lot of great picks out there.
Yeah.
But I got to go with Brooksy.
All right, guys, I'm going to go with my pick. I think for my pick this week, I'm going to go with Brooks Koepka.
There you go. We both got the same guy this week.
And you know what? I didn't want to change it because you had it, and because all for the same reasons you just said, but even more so, again, I think he wants to make a statement. He's been kind of absent. It's still a Ryder Cup around the corner. He's been out of the news a little bit, out of the winner's circle a little bit. He's been struggling. He's been trying to come back, and I think this is kind of a great stage because it is a major, and everyone kind of gravitates towards Brooks because he's Mr. Major. Mm-hmm. And I know he's got 2 of these trophies already. I'm sure he's going to want a 3rd one. I'm not going to reiterate all the stuff you said, Frank. I agree with it. We're going Brooks. Brooks for the win. Forget about just making cuts. Brooks for the win.
Mr. Major. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Even can you imagine, like, again, his mental strength and the way he has that way. I know he gets under people's skin a little bit sometimes, but in a press conference or something to say something that gets under other people's skin, I don't want to be going against him on Sunday. If I was in the mix, because, he's going to say something, he's going to do something just to kind of take you just, not in a malicious way, but just like in a competitive way to kind of take you out of your game. I don't know.
Yeah, 100%. What's the wager on these two? They're pint if he wins. Yeah. Yeah. What's the bet, Frank?
Yeah. If he wins, we'll buy a pint, and if he loses, we'll buy a pint.
It's on.
We get a pint either way.
It's on.
But look, I mean, I think he's got a great chance. But again, I think it's going to come down to, it's going to be an exciting couple of days. It's going to be an exciting weekend. And no matter what, there will be storylines that will last the test of time with this one. Whether it is Spieth capturing, his Grand Slam, whether Rory makes a charge back, who knows? Ricky even had started off pretty hot. Maybe we see Ricky start to get himself back in order in that winning shape that we want to see. There's just so much that can happen. This is what, as fans, we want out of a major, and I think we're getting it.
I think so. And Brooks, believe it or not, come like the betting odds, he was going off at some really good odds. He was low. Like, I was like, I'm going to put on money, and it'll pay out $510 if he wins.
And you know why he's coming low? Because under anybody else, there'd be so many question marks of his health.
Right, that's it.
But yet he finds a way to rise to the occasion and do it.
Right.
It just shows you that it just shows you how much value he puts on majors, that even if it causes him a setback and he has to take a couple tournaments off because he pushed it too hard in his recovery, he'll do it. So
yeah, I think so. Brandon was talking about if Ricky won, he'd cry.
Yeah,
I think so. I mean, that would be emotional.
I think
everyone wants to see him back.
And I'm seeing, like Dave saying here, a lot of Morikawa picks. Morikawa 100% has the accuracy to get it done here too. This requires accuracy.
He's so deadly accurate.
He's deadly. I mean, there's a guy who could just hit it pin straight.
Even Dave said it right there.
Time,
yep.
Every single time. But anyway, guys, that's everything we have for you guys this week. We've got to go and record
51 minutes, Frank.
Yeah, there's a lot to talk about this week.
Got it, yeah.
But we also had to come back because we were away last week. But again, like we said, guys, we're going to try to be here live every Friday. If we're ever not here, it's not because we forgot about you guys. It's because we're out on the course filming something.
Right.
So stay tuned. A lot of exciting content coming to the channel really soon. And if you're watching and you're not already subscribed, make sure you subscribe because we're giving away. Don't forget this. There's so much giveaways. I forget about it. We're giving away a Titleist TSI driver to a random YouTube subscriber every month. And check out our Instagram page where we had our May winner. And this is how random it is. Some people don't even know they're entered because they're just one of the 48,000 subscribers.
Wait, what?
We caught him on a driving range. We're FaceTiming him through Instagram, and we're like, you won. And he's like, what?
How cool is that?
So really fun stuff to do. But anyway, guys, thanks as always for joining us, and we'll see you.